we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. It seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. Part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And so now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you because you think that's a sign of strength, because that's what being a man is, putting women down. That's not acceptable.
No, Obama should not get a fourth term. I will not be gaslit into voting for an unqualified candidate. Imagine Trump telling all white men to vote for him. The media, celebrities, and all politicians would eat him alive. Obama scolding black men for not supporting a woman. I thought Democrats didn't know what a woman is. Black men don't owe the Democratic Party nor the gynocracy anything. We are free-thinking Americans like every other citizen in this country and have the right to vote our interest.
Senator Vance, in Pittsburgh on Thursday, former President Barack Obama admonished black men for being hesitant about voting for Kamala Harris. I was wondering if you could contrast your approach to hesitant voters and how you tried to earn them over.
You know, first of all, I don't believe, whether you agree with me or disagree with me, whether you agree with Donald Trump or disagree with him, I don't believe in hectoring voters. I believe in persuading voters. Support is not something I'm given or something I'm owed. It's something you got to go out there and work for. So one, I just don't like the tone of going in. I mean, look, the better question for Barack Obama or anybody to ask is not why black men, it's not how dare you not vote for Kamala Harris, it's maybe they're thinking about voting for Donald Trump because they're sick of being censored, they're sick of being told what to do, and they're sick of not being able to afford the American dream. Maybe that's why we're getting a lot more black voters.
Vance nailed it right from the start. He said it best. Hectoring voters doesn't work. People don't respond well to being talked down to or told how they should vote, especially when the issues they care about, like affordability, the American dream, censorship, and personal freedom, are being brushed aside. That's the real reason we're seeing more black voters leaning toward Republicans. It's not about identity politics, it's about policy and real-life impact. It feels a little racist for Obama to be telling black men to vote based on race. Obama playing the race card isn't just racist, it's a sign of desperation. When Obama asks why black men are hesitant to support Harris, he's missing the larger picture. Maybe, just maybe, those voters are reconsidering their options because they are tired of empty promises and being treated as a voting bloc that should automatically align with one party. Obama, despite his charisma, seems to have forgotten that lesson. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Vance's critique of Kamala Harris. He's not just pointing out a lack of voter connection, he's highlighting a substantive vacuum in her politics. Slogans and platitudes don't cut it, especially not when we're talking about the presidency.
Than Republicans in the past, but you know, the last point I want to make is, you know, I got to say, and shocker, newsflash here, I've defended Kamala Harris once, I'm about to defend Barack Obama once. So set to the side the hectoring and the tone of Obama when he went in and talking about black voters, like whatever, obviously I just criticized that. You know what I was watching him talk, you know what I thought to myself is, agree or disagree, and obviously I disagreed with about 99% of what he did when he was in office, he had substance and Kamala Harris does not. Like, he actually had thoughts in his head, and what a contrast that is to Kamala Harris, who just repeats slogan after slogan after slogan. I got to be honest with you, I am offended, not as a person running to be your vice president, but as a fellow citizen. I am offended that a person who is so substanceless as Kamala Harris dares to think that she could be the president of the United States. It is a disgrace. I mean, what does she want to do about Israel and the Middle East? She'll give you a slogan. How does she want to lower the price of groceries? She'll give you a platitude. How is she going to make the lives of her fellow citizens better? She turns around and runs from the camera. A person like that has no business being near the Oval Office of this country. We cannot let it happen. And I'd ask you, I mean, to all of you out here, this is one of the things that's at stake. I mean, look, I imagine, at least I hope, that you guys aren't thinking about voting for Democrats in the future. But look, we cannot reward this kind of politics where they switched Joe Biden from the ballot 2 months ago without a single vote being cast. She runs from the basement. She does a few softball interviews, and we think that person is tested enough to be president of the United States. It is insulting to American voters, and we have to reject it on November the 5th by voting for Donald J. Trump.
Vance had a point. At least Obama had substance. Like him or not, the guy could articulate his ideas, and that's something Harris simply can't do. It's almost embarrassing to watch her try. For example, when asked about critical issues like the Middle East or lowering grocery prices, what does Harris offer? Nothing but vague slogans and feel-good statements. There's no real plan, no vision, no leadership. She runs from the hard questions, avoids the cameras, and we're supposed to trust that she's ready to be president of the United States? No way. Now, Obama's trying to shame black men into supporting Harris by implying they're not doing it because she's a black woman. But here's the thing, it's not about race or gender, it's about accomplishments and what you stand for. And let's be honest, Kamala Harris's track record, or lack thereof, speaks for itself. People are frustrated because she hasn't delivered. She repeats slogans and platitudes without offering any real solutions. She's all talk, no action. It's insulting, not just to black voters, but to all Americans. We deserve leaders who are prepared, who have the grit and the experience to tackle the big issues, not someone who hides when things get tough. And like Vance said, the fact that the Democratic Party even thinks someone as untested and unqualified as Kamala Harris should be anywhere near the Oval Office is downright disrespectful. Contrast this with the energy behind Trump. Yes, he's controversial, but there's a reason his base is solid. He speaks to the issues, the frustrations, and the dreams of the American people directly. He doesn't hide behind slogans. He tackles issues head on. That's why this November is so important. We have to send a clear message that we won't accept this kind of politics, where they prop up someone like Harris without even a real election process. She's been shielded by the media, protected from tough interviews, and the Democrats expect us to believe she's ready for the highest office in the land? Nope, we're not buying it, so let's make our voices heard on November 5th. Let's vote for real leadership, for someone who's proven they can get things done. This election is about rejecting the empty slogans and failed policies of the past few years and standing up for real change. That's why I'm urging you to support Donald J. Trump, who's actually fought for our interests, for the American worker, for your families.